Well, good morning, everyone. Today has been a day, and you know what? I'm going to shake this off. I'm going to shake this off. And
Morning. Good
and I just
morning.
want to welcome everyone to Ascend Your Path. And I am so excited. Not only we have this down pat, and today God knows I'm going to speak. And trust me, I lost all my notes. I was like, what happened to my notes? So I was scrambling in the last 10 minutes. So I just want to say thank you for joining Ascend Your Path. This is your safe space to share your message and rediscover your voice. I've been doing this for it's been 5 years already. We started at I think I have to mute. Can you mute? Let me mute. Can you
I'm
mute
I'm doing
Chrislyn?
that.
Yes, sorry. I started this 5 years ago, and it was a whisper because I asked God, just in service as usual. I didn't want to really be a speaker, but I said, God, what can I do? And he said, create a safe space for speakers to share their message and to shine. And this is how Ascend Your Path was born 5 years ago. We were originally called Next Level You. So I'm really excited for all the people who have shared this stage and who have been on this stage. And I'm looking for more of you to share the stage because we all got a message. We all have a message to share. So in the chat, can you share in chat one thing that you're grateful for? Just one thing. I know I am so grateful that I was able to get some notes back into my presentation. So if you can post in chat, good health, I see that. Let me read some of this chat live. Yes. That's from Christy. Teresa said, okay. Dr. Tori said, peace. Grateful for kids. For each day from Maria. We're excited. We're going to have Maria on this platform sharing soon. You know, I am here today and have tech and something to listen to you. Good, right? Good. Awesome, Sandra. I got my mortgage confirmed. Yes, Jay is moving. Thank you. Wonderful job, Jay. So I'm excited. So keep sharing those messages, what you're grateful for. And I just have to say, I have to go back to say, I am also grateful to James McNeil because he started me off on this journey. I am grateful that he offered me and he taught me a lot. And I'm excited also for my partner, Dr. Olga Kamina. We've been partners now for almost 3 years. And that's because life shifts, right? And when life shifts, you pivot. You do what you got to do. So we were so excited about building another business, and life happens. And we said, we're going to do this together. And we created You Transform 360. So I'm excited to have you here today. The numbers, it's people are gonna come in later on, but we want to really be be respectful of time. And I'm excited to say our first speaker is going to be Chrislyn Benjamin. And Kristen, I hope you can get your camera up and running. I see two Chrislyns, but I hope you get your camera up. If not, Mary, would you be able to step in and go first? You're muted but magnificent. Can you?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So let me tell you a little bit about Mary. You know, we all have a story. And last month, let me start off with January. This month has started off really amazing. We had Dr. Forbes Riley, and we had all of the co-authors from our anthology share a 3 minute about their chapter. And February, we had AC Caswell. AC, former football player with the Raiders, and his wonderful wife, Deidre. Mary has been journeying with us for a while. She was invited by Dr. Tori Love, who invited her granddaughter, and the granddaughter invited her. And Mary heard AC and Deidre's story. And again, let me tell you, we never know whose heart we're going to touch when we share a story. And Mary reached out to me and said, I have a story because Deidre reminded me of my story. Now, Mary is 80 years young. So you never told to share your story. And we just so happened to have a spot opened up. And I said, Mary, this spot is yours. And she said, I'm ready to share. Okay. So Mary, just to share a little bit about Mary. Mary lived in New York. She's lived, no, she currently lives in Georgia. And she had an amazing career. Her topic today is entitled Angels in the Dark.
In
And
the
Mary,
night.
in the night, sorry. Angels in the night. Thank you for correcting me on that. And and we're so excited to hear from you, Mary, because yes, we all have a story, and I'm glad you stepped up to the plate and says, I want to share mine. Okay, so without further ado, we can spotlight Mary and have Mary kick kick it off.
It starts out as one of the life challenges relative to my taking charge of my grandson's life, who was 3 years old at the time. Um, Custody of him was lost by his parents, and he was about to go into foster care. The people who were going to take him were not in it from a sincere or loving place. They were in it for the foster care money. When I found out about this, and this became an interstate custody battle with my taking charge of him from the courthouse without permission. And so they actually issued a warrant for kidnapping against me. It was a cold, dark night. I was driving on a secluded state road that wasn't traveled often. I had my 3-year-old grandson in the car with me. I was leaving North Carolina, trying to get back home for a Thanksgiving holiday. I lived in Northern Virginia outside of DC at the time, and I was driving alone. Naturally, my car broke down. I had flares to go around the car. I lit them and put them around the car, took the car off to the side of the road. And for about a half an hour in the very cold weather, my grandson and I were just sitting in the car. There was no other cars on the road. A tractor-trailer truck came out of nowhere and parked behind my car. The driver got out and he looked at the car. He said, there's nothing that we can do to fix this car tonight. He said, but I'm on my way to the Tyson's Corner area of Northern Virginia. And I said, will you take us? And he said, yes. He literally picked up my grandson in his arms, escorted me to his truck, and helped us into a tractor-trailer truck. I'd never been in a tractor-trailer truck before. And there was a little sleeping area behind his seat, which my grandson was able to go to sleep on. As we were riding, we were talking a little bit, and the gentleman told me that he had never traveled on that road before, and he had only had his truck for 6 weeks. And he was making furniture runs for a customer that he had just acquired or contracted He was a retired Gold Shield police officer from New York City. The area that he was working in as a police officer was where I grew up in New York City. Of course, I could not let him know that he was carrying a person or transporting a person in his vehicle who had a warrant out for her arrest, was on the FBI list to be arrested for kidnapping, and that the child that was in his vehicle was the kidnapped child. Well, we rode for about an hour, and there were police sirens that pulled up around his vehicle. One police car pulled in front of him, and another police car pulled behind him, and they made him pull over to the side of the road. Now, we had only been traveling at that time about an hour. I was a little shook because I thought that this was something that they were after me. He came out of his truck. He took his Gold Shield badge with him, and he went to talk to the two police cars that were waiting for him when he stepped down out of his truck. He came back to the truck a few minutes later, and he said that it was that they stopped him because he had been on the road too many hours, and they needed for him to go to the next rest stop. He said he explained to them that he was taking a lady, transporting a lady to a different destination, and they said, "We're sorry, she's going to have to find other transportation. You have to come off of this road." So they literally escorted him off the exit, which was just a few minutes away from where they had stopped him. We came out of that exit. There was a rest stop there. I came down out of the truck and went to inside the rest stop and made a telephone call. I wanted to call my brother, who had been waiting for me, to let him know that I didn't know exactly where I had been stopped, and I wasn't sure of how I was going to get home with my grandson. When I made the telephone call, and this is a time when there were no cell phone, I had no cell phones, there was no internet at the time, there was no texting. And so there was a pay telephone booth inside. I had to and I made the call, and my brother said that I had had a telephone call from a childhood friend of mine that I had not heard from in over 30 years. And he gave me her telephone number and asked me to give her a call to see how close I was to where she was.
Mary, your mic is echoing. I don't know what's causing it.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
See if you can go a look. Can you I'm not sure why it
Dianne,
was
I hear
fine
you're
before.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Is anybody else experiencing problems? Because I hear Mary okay.
Yeah, I hear Mary okay too.
Dianne, I guess it's on your side.
I can't hear Dianne at all. Okay. I'll just continue.
Yes.
Okay. So I took the telephone number, and my friend's name was Judy. And I called Judy. It was about 11 o'clock that night. And I said to Judy, Judy, I don't know where I am. And she said, well, ask someone. And I did. And she said, well, you're only 10 miles away from where I am. I'll come and get you. So Judy came and got me and my grandson, and we stayed at her house throughout the Thanksgiving holiday. I explained to her, and I had never met her husband before, and she had twin daughters and a son. She had 3 children of her own that I had not met before. And Judy and I had known each other since we were like 10 years old. I explained to them what the circumstances were. I was a little concerned that if we were found there, that they would be in trouble housing us. But her husband insisted that we stay. And so we spent our Thanksgiving with them. To have a truck driver who was a Gold Shield police officer who had never traveled that road before to stop and get us. He was the first angel in the night, that particular night. Judy, a childhood friend that I had not seen in over 30 years, was the second angel in the night to come and get us. The police officers that escorted that truck off the road safely so that that truck driver could get some rest was the third set of angels in the night. It's always amazing to me from life's challenges that we're protected even when we don't recognize that we are. It took me 3.5 years, 7 attorneys, and a forensic psychologist to actually get the full custody of my grandson. Eventually, through a lot of trials and tribulations, that warrant for my arrest was dropped. But it took a long legal battle to get it done. So I have, and my grandson is now 32 years old. This started when he was 2. He is still here and living in my house. He's out working today, but I protected him. I was protected, and I am always grateful when I see him walk in and out of the door. So that's one of the life challenges that I experienced. There were a lot of lessons that I learned through that particular experience, and it had to do with leaving no stone unturned. Not having the technology at the time put me in a situation where I had to make telephone calls. I had to find representation. I had to go to the library. I did not know of anyone who had ever gone through an experience like that. I believe that our case probably is in the legal statutes as a precedent, because one of the judges that was overseeing this particular situation, who actually issued the warrant for my arrest, she ruled against me. And another judge in the state of Virginia ruled for me. The advice that the judge in Virginia gave me was that I was to not ever go into the state of California, because in the state of California, she had not dropped that warrant, nor was she willing to, because she wanted my grandson returned to that state. The social services department also was an eye-opener for me, because they actually paid the foster care people that they had selected for 3.5 years, even though they didn't have the child. I had him with me, but they continued to pay for 3.5 years until this was settled. I can't imagine money's being spent that way, but that's a part of the way our system is. I also learned to be kind to every single stranger that you meet, but also to be smart in not allowing anyone to take your kindness for weakness. It's a wonderful thing to have faith, but there are people who don't want to work in conjunction with what your goals or objectives are. And you have to be aware of that and just not be taken advantage of. That's my story for today. Any questions?
No.
Okay.
Mary, I just wanted, let me just get back to my full screen.
Sure.
So Mary, this is so exciting. When you shared that story with me, I was really thrilled to see what the lengths you will go to show love and show kindness, and
Right.
to see how there's no coincidences. God sends us angels.
Absolutely.
Okay. And what's your grandson's name?
Tylan, Tylan.
Oh, that's, I know I don't know why my thing. Can you all hear me clearly? Yes? Okay. So good. Thank you, Deborah. So Mary, to tell us a little bit about your grandson, what did he say? Have you ever shared this story with him?
Oh yes, he's fully aware. He's fully aware of the story. My grandson, I wound up having to homeschool him. I homeschooled him from, I want to say, first grade through high school. And he had never had a standardized test. The first test that he ever took was his SATs when he was applying to get into college. And he scored over 1,500, if anybody knows what the scores are like. I think the highest score you could score is 1,600, and he scored something like 1,580. He went to Oglethorpe University and majored in Japanese. Now, no one in my family is Japanese that I'm aware of. We don't speak anything other than English in our family, but he had an interest when he was 4 in Japanese mythology and stories. And he literally taught himself how to speak Japanese.
Wow.
So when he went to college, he majored in Japanese and English. He's a proficient writer. He loves to write. At some point in time, I guess he's going to get published as well. His mother lives with us, so he has connections with his mother. That's my daughter. And he has some connections with his father. He met up with him when he was about 21. And it was not the experience, I think, that he might have been looking for. And when he came back home after spending 2 weeks with him, he said, I just want you to know how grateful I am for what you have done for me, because I don't know where I would be today if it wasn't for you. When he graduated from college, he gave me his degree because he said I had earned it.
So, Mary, that's amazing. What a great story, Mary. And what came to me was what AC talked about in February. And it's because your past does not determine your future.
Absolutely.
And I am so grateful that you took the time to really groom him. And I mean those scores, like Melissa, I don't know about the scores, but one of our participants put in there, she said 1580 is amazing.
Right.
You know, so that grace goes back to show how the incredible work you did with him. And I know, Mary, you came from a background, and you talked a little bit about being raised by your father.
Right.
Okay, so it's really, really touching to know that you've experienced so much.
My parents were an interracial couple from South Carolina. They were not allowed to date. My father was white, my mother was black. They were not allowed to see each other in the South. When they moved to New York City, they married, and my mother had a nervous breakdown and was in a mental institution for 25 years. I was 2 months old when she was hospitalized. And my father raised my brother and I by himself. So my strength and my mindset is attributed to my dad and the love that he instilled in us.
And that's really great. So I remember you sharing with me that when Deidre Caswell shared her story of being raised by her dad,
Right.
because her mom left her when she was 8 months old, it triggered that story about, oh, I got a message as well.
Right.
And I'm so happy that you decided to share a bit of your story with us. And I know I sure someone touched there.
It was an honor to get your call and to be able to share this.
Okay. Does anyone have a question for Mary? Is there anything in the chat, or you just love the story? You can come on camera, guys. You know, nice to have you on camera. You'll bring the energy. I know today is like starting off kind of shaky, but you know, today's gonna be. You're gonna get something today that you will say, "I'm so glad I came." So if you can come on camera, that's wonderful. Hey, hello, Star. Thank you for coming on camera.
Paul
Okay.
has a
Any
question.
questions in the chat, Olga, for Mary?
Not in the chat, but Paul has a question.
Paul has a question. Go ahead, Paul.
Good morning. I don't have a question. I have a comment.
Yes.
Mary, God bless you. You are exactly what I believe and what I teach. If you know what you want, you certainly did. If you are consistent and persistent, you certainly were. You will always achieve what you want, and you did. The second,
And there were many people, Paul, who told me at the time to give him up. I said, I can't do that. I even had people who were lawyers, who were police officers, enforcement officers, who tried to guide me by telephone because they kept saying, Mary, we're officers of the court. If you come here, we have to take you in. So I ran for a lot of times, but each time I ran, someone took us in. So it it was an amazing adventure.
again,
Sure it is.
if you are persistent and consistent and you believe in what you're doing, you will achieve what you
Right.
want. The second thing I want to say, I am 78. In April 23, I'll be 79. In 1 year, I'll be your age. And if I will look as good as you, that will be my angel in the night. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. My 80th birthday is in June, so we're right there. It's in the genes, though. It's the DNA.
I don't think it's in the DNA, it is in the attitude. You have the right attitude. We both have the right attitude.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul. We have Dr. Tori. Hey, Dr. Tori.
Hi, Dr. Tori. I see you.
You got a question? You just saying, yes, ma'am.
I hope at some point that if there are some questions that someone has or knows of someone who has that dilemma, that they reach out, because I have a lot of documentation and legal
Can you hear me
papers.
now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Miss Mary Buckner. That was delightful. Oh my goodness. You know, you named that Angels in the Night, but you are the angel in the night, in your grandson's life, in your family's life. And I'll bet you there are people who could tell stories about you as their angel showing up exactly at the right moment, at the right time, and bringing exactly what they need to the table. I really appreciate you sharing your story with us because there are so many angels in our lives
Yep.
that make us kind of look back over our shoulder and say, wait a minute, did that just happen? Yes, that just happened. There are angels assigned to all of us. That was delightful. And I understand so much more about you, your family, and your story because you came on and you stuck with this, with us, with the Ascend Your Path family, and you shared with us just a little bit of magic that comes from your life. So thank you so much for coming on and being bold and being kind enough to share with us your story.
I am honored. And Ascend is a very special place.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Dr. Tori. And so if you all don't have any more questions, Olga is gonna also share a little bit about what we're doing and a little bit of, I don't know if we got to the housekeeping part of it, but I guess we already forget the housekeeping. Okay, is anything you want to share, Olga, about what you think our Send Your Path community family needs to know?
Hello, hold on, let me, here we go. Good morning, family. And yes, Ascend holds a very special part in our hearts. The name came up by surprise to us, right, Dianne? We have been brainstorming about the name, and so it came up that Ascend, the word Ascend came up, and now everything that we are doing, we use that word in order to have our brand associated with that word. And we truly believe in that word because we are ascending together here. What would I like our community to know? That we are running this amazing challenge, the 21-day manifestation challenge. We have been running that for 2 months already, and we are starting the third round on April 1st. Not the Fool's Day, like it's a Fool's Day, but not for us. It's going to be the first day of our challenge. And it is a challenge, it's your challenge, right? And the name speaks for itself, basically, the 21-day manifestation challenge, because we believe that by doing small changes every day, you can achieve big results at the end, just like Atomic Habits book is telling you. Dianne, would you like to add about this challenge? And then,
Yeah, absolutely.
because it's your baby.
It's my baby. And there you go again. And all we gotta do is ask divine, right? So I was always asking, saying, okay, how can we grow our community? There's times when we have a huge platform here, and then there's times when but I always say whoever's supposed to be here is they're gonna be here. But we really want to expand the community. And I asked God, I says, how can we grow this? And the answer came while I was here. But God kind of slowed me down around the Christmas and New Year's holidays. And when I came back in 21 days, he gave me these 3 pillars. And I didn't even know. Now I'm trying to think back. How did this come about? I don't even know. But I knew this is what God wanted me to do. And the first thing is setting an intention, one intention that you want to achieve. The second piece of it is fasting. And you can fast, and we're going to be able to share our workbook with you because I'm going to put together a beautiful workbook with all of the details on how you could do this challenge and be successful. And the setting the intent, fasting. So fasting makes space for divine. Okay, whether you fast from social media, someone just reached out to me yesterday. She says, "Oh, I didn't see your message. I was fasting from social media." So we go through these moments, right? You fast from food, fast from sugar. So whatever it is, you choose something that's meaningful to you to give up. The second pillar is spending 20 minutes every day visualizing your intention, not from an outcome base, but from an identity base. So there's a difference. So outcome base is, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, that's 10 pounds. Identity base is, I'm going to feel so much healthier and stronger when I lose this 10 pounds. My every cell in my body is rejoicing because I'm healthier. I release 10 pounds that did not serve me. So that's identity. So it's feeling that part. And the other component is gratitude. Gratitude is what fuels everything. So spending 20 minutes a day in gratitude and be intentional about it. As before we even get out of bed, we're grateful for just opening our eyes. And as I say that, I just want to ask you to just place your hand on your heart for a second. Just put your hand on your heart. Do you feel a heartbeat? Yeah, that was not promised to you. The breath that you breathe, not promised to you. But here we are. This is something great to be grateful for. So there's so much to be grateful for. Okay, that's why gratitude is so huge. So it's just those components that makes up the 21-day challenge. So you do those 3 things for 7 days and you recycle it for the next 2 cycles. And that's what makes up the 21 days. And I'm really thrilled to really share that because it has done so much for me since I started back February 1st. And if I can, I'm looking to see who's here. Carrie, that if you can talk, and Carrie, that is here, and we have Susan. Susan, can you share a little bit about, you started in March. How has the experience been for you? Teresa was on camera. Where is she? I know she just had a grandbaby. Teresa is here. Oh, Teresa. Okay, so then I'm gonna get a couple of shares and then we're gonna move to Chrislyn. So Teresa, you want to share how the experience has been for you?
For me, it has been very challenging because at this time I'm going through some health issues. I have 2 daughters having children with high-risk pregnancy, so it's been very challenging. But the one thing that I was able to hold on to was the meditation. And the meditation and being present in what how I see myself, that I'm not becoming. I've learned from meditation, I am already that person that God has put on my life, that call, that walk. So the meditation was very key for me in this time of not being able to really. I did the fasting. I did my fasting from 10 to 10. I was able to keep with that as well. Gratitude is something that I walk with every day. That's just part of my life, being grateful for my life, for the people God has surrounded me with. And meeting you, you're opening up another segment in my life, another
path in my journey to where I'm going. So I'm appreciative of this platform. So you and Olga, please continue doing what you're doing, because even if it's 10 people, those are 10 lives that you are touching, and those 10 lives will touch other lives, and it will grow. God bless.
But thank you so much, because part of my talk today is the ripple effect. So thank you for sharing that, Teresa. And congratulations on your new grandbaby. So
Thank you.
we have Kristen, and I think Susan. Did you want to say something, Susan?
Susan cannot talk. She said,
Okay, good. Okay, sorry. Chrislyn?
Okay, yeah. So I wanted to say that I started the manifestation from the initial stages. And I found, like Carol says, there are times that it is challenging. There are times when things just come in your way. But with that forum that we have, it keeps you focused. You have to be intentional with whatever it is that you're doing and you want. And you have to embody what it is that you want. Not just having it as a visual thought, I want this or I want that, but to really be intentional with it, like I said, and also to gratitude. Gratitude is important. Okay, so when things start to go haywire, when you sit down and think about all the good things that have happened to you, and we have to remember that we've had more good than bad. Okay, but we seem to focus so much on the negative until we forget the things that were good. I think it's a good place to be, and for us to realize that we're not going to be perfect. Okay, there are times that we're going to have those challenges. There are times when we're maybe not going to do the fast as long as we wanted to do it, but we have to give ourselves some grace and to move on. And once we do it and we're in that community where we have that support, I think it's a good thing to do. So thank you, Dianne and all.
So thank you for that share, Kristen, because it goes back to consistency. Okay, it's what we do consistently, and Olga just talked about it, is what brings about significant change. So all the little things add up. So even though we had those three little pillars there, yes, our subconscious mind is going to try to resist. So when we feel the resistance, we know something is working. It is working. Okay, until the body says, that's what you want me to do. Okay, that's how you want me to talk. That's how you want me to walk. Okay, when you embody whatever you want to your presence. So my thing is abundance, and it's abundance, not just money abundance. I take that, but it's to have the abundance of great relationships here, to have the abundance of health, because without health, wealth is not going to do you anything. So to really have a spiritual awareness, to bring about strength in my spiritual growth. So all of that is what I want for abundance. I want to be wrapped in that abundance. Okay. So Olga, I think Olga, did you drop the link in the chat? I think you did. And we're gonna have some more shares about okay, great. So that's our share. And everyone, when we send out the replay, you're gonna get a copy of our workbook. It's detailed. Okay. So with that being said, I would love to introduce my dear friend and travel buddy, Chrislyn Benjamin. Chrislyn and I, we've been journeying for a while. It's been, I gotta be about 5 years. We shared 3 number 1 bestsellers. One with Les Brown's, and I think I have it down somewhere. I think The Next Level You. I forgot the name of it, but Next Level You. But yes, so I'm excited to have Kristen share, and she chose to share about her chapter from our latest and number 1 bestseller with Dr. Forbes Riley and Les Brown. She's going to talk a little bit more of her chapter. And our book do exist. This is not a fake. It's not fake. It does exist. And so Kristen is from the HR background, but she wanted to share about let me just get it right, the spark that became Hawaii. And I'm so excited to introduce my sister for all the way from the Bahamas to share with you today. So, Chrislyn, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dianne. And I just wanted to say that initially I called Dianne to say I had a cold and I don't think I should share, but here I am. So my voice may be a little scratchy, but I'm going to try and do my best. I'm going to see if I can share my PowerPoint slide. You know what? I won't waste any time. I saw a message. So, yes, the spark within, okay? So I want to welcome all of you here today, and I want you to take a moment to think about that moment in your life that you didn't see something that was coming, a moment that changed everything. I want you to slowly close your eyes, and I want you to think about that moment. And you can begin to open your eyes and type a word in the chat that describes that moment. Okay, I see freedom, exciting, peace. I see 2% said peace, pain, okay, silence. So I want you to hold on to that word as I go through my story. Hold on to that word. So it was a Tuesday morning when I got a call from an unfamiliar number. I knew that I had a meeting to attend. And so I said, well, I don't know that number. I'm not going to answer. And then I got another call again, and then I answered. There was a male voice on the other end, and he said that I needed to come to the police traffic station. I told him that I had a meeting to attend and I have to go to that meeting. So he says, no, miss, you need to come. So I said to him that I will ask my brother to come. So he specifically said that it's you that I want to come. And so I hung up. And then there was a lady who came on. And she says, ma'am, you have to come yourself. And somehow, I don't want to seem like I'm sexist, but somehow the voice of that woman who said, ma'am, you have to come yourself, that made a difference. So I said, I will. So I hung up and I got on the phone and I called my boss and said, you know what, I can't come because I got a call from the police traffic station saying that I must come down there. So I did. I went there. The brother who I had asked to come to the police station, I got there before him. So the police asked me to wait out front. And he said, you know what? You might as well wait here until your brother comes. So I did. But you know, during that time that I was waiting, there was something that shifted within me. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what to expect. And then my brother came. They took us into another room where the inspector came and sat down. At that moment, the room felt like it was closing in. And then he said he didn't make it. I took a deep breath. And then I realized that was my youngest brother, the spark within the family, the storyteller, the encourager. I couldn't believe he was gone. I didn't cry. I didn't collapse. At that moment, I thought that I was the strong one. Because my brother, who was there with me, he was like in shock. But everyone who knows me know that on the surface, I appear to be the strong one. So I kept up that strong facade. And then I realized the impact of what he said was real. He is gone. And at that moment, I didn't know how to react. And you know, I realized grief doesn't always come with tears. Sometimes it comes with numbness. I became numb. I was pretending that everything is all right. For weeks, I moved as a shadow, functional, present, but deep down inside, it was hollow. And I realized my brother, who was my sounding board for dreams that were bigger than my courage. He always said to me, you can do it. That really, really moved me when I think about his words, you can do it. I have experienced challenges before with health challenges. And there were challenges whereby I had lost control of my right side. And at that time I was in college, but I was resilient. I taught myself at that point to learn how to use my left hand. And if I would have listened to the diagnosis from the doctors, it seemed like doom and gloom. I would be on medication for life. I won't be able to drive. And it almost just took away everything that I had hoped for at that point. They tried to shrink my dreams, but I refused to allow that to happen. At night, I would climb out of my bed, still thinking of my brother. Nights I lay in my bed asking the question, why? Why is it happening to me? Why are you taking away my sounding board? Why are you taking away my encourager? I ask all those questions. Of course, I got no answer. And that happened for a number of nights, a number of weeks. And then I heard a murmur, a whisper. Nothing that was loud, but there was something deep down within me, in my spirit, that says, Chris, you can do it. You can live your purpose. And in that whisper in my spirit, it didn't erase the pain, but something powerful reminded me that his belief in me didn't die. It lives in me. And it taught me something profound. Your why is not discovered when things are going good. Your why is discovered in your struggle, in your pain. And I realized that I overcame a struggle before. I was resilient then, and I can be resilient now. Because every struggle becomes spark. And I want to ask you all, many of you have had a whisper. Put a Y in the chat if you've experienced that. Not so much the verbal voice, but that whisper, or that's something that's deep down in your spirit that urges you to move on. Okay, I see Dr. Manera.
My mic is so scratchy, I can barely hear. Go back with the question,
Okay.
Chrislyn.
The question was, how many of you have experienced that? Put a Y in the chat. If you have experienced hearing that murmur or that whisper telling you to move on, or giving you that encouragement. That reminded me that it did not erase the pain that I was feeling, but something powerful reminded me that his belief in me didn't die. It lives in me. Something profound. And like I said earlier, your why is discovered during those painful times. And every struggle becomes your spark. And how did I overcome that? I took small steps. I began writing. I shared my story, not confidently, but in a vulnerable way. At times reluctantly, but quietly. And what I found is that people began to lean in and they said, me too. I discovered Sonda. And Sonda is the realization that every person you meet has their own trials, their own difficulties. An example of that will be in a busy airport. You see people rushing around, milling around. We don't know what they're going through. They may be like I was, pretending that everything was fine, but deep down there was that void. My purpose was not to be strong. My purpose is to be real, being upfront, telling the truth about my light and darkness. And by doing that, I connected with so many other persons who were experiencing grief, loss in some way. And that created a connection, a bond, a community for me to share and for others also to share their pain. what I found that it refined me. You know what it did? Stripped me of the noise that is all around me, all the things that get in your way. You face that reality, that let that go. Surrender all of the things that are hurting you, surrender them and leave them there. And it showed me who I was becoming. It gave me that strength, the fortitude to want to go on and to live my life truly with purpose, even though I have faced challenges. And so that was the creation of the REACT framework, which is a framework that I use to get over or to help me deal with grief and loss. And it is reflection, honoring our past without shame. That is the time that we pause to look at the things that have happened to us and what we can do to make things different. Engagement. When you think of engagement, that is reconnecting to your voice, reaching out to others. You know, because sometimes we put ourselves we're not open. And if we don't reach out to others, we won't realize how they're feeling. And we won't realize how, once we share, how that can help each other. Action. Taking small steps with compassion and purpose. Yes, with compassion and purpose. And to be intentional with those steps. Clarity. Understanding your path. After you've gone through reflection, engagement, action, you are at a point now where you can understand your path. Not only your path, the path of others as well. Because when we connect the word sonder with this framework, we are looking at how other people are feeling. It's not only about us. We don't live in a vacuum. It's about others as well. Transformation. Transformation is not just personal, okay? It's like the impact that we have on other people. And that is what truly makes a difference, our impact on others. What would it make? It won't make sense living in a world where we just think about ourselves. It's all about me, me, me. We need others. People need people. And if we are kind and considerate to other people, that will make a difference. I want now to share with you my tribute to my brother, who always encouraged me to climb higher, who always told me I can make it. So I'm going to read that poem, The Spark Within. I stood in silence, shattered and still, a heart half broken, a soul to rebuild. The world has shifted, the light grew dim, and yet I heard the echo of him. You can do it, soft as breath, a whisper rising from beneath death. Not gone, just change. His voice, my flame. A spark that called me back by name. I walk through ashes, slow and bare. Each step a prayer, each breath a dare. To rise again, to speak, to feel, to turn my pain into something real. Now I carry what he gave to me, a torch of truth, a legacy, not just to live, but to ignite, to help the hidden find their light. So if you're reading Lost or Low, unsure where your life may go, know this: your spark is not erased. It waits in silence to be embraced. Let grief be sacred. Let hope begin. And listen for the spark within. Thank you for allowing me to share my poem as a tribute to my brother. Now I want to speak directly to you. Maybe you've lost someone. Maybe you've lost yourself. Maybe you thought you were strong all alone, and that you don't even remember what it feels like to breathe. A reminder, your why is not gone. It may be quiet, it may be buried, but it is alive. I want you to ponder on a couple of few questions, and for you to ask yourself, who has been a spark in your life? Someone who believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself. Think about that for a moment. And if any of you want to share of someone who's been a spark in your life, you're free to share.
iPhone is Jean, and she said, "What a great tribute to your brother." You know, I think Queenie has her hand up. Queenie, got a question? Queenie Star. And if you guys can come on camera, that would be awesome. And we want to get everyone, we want to take a screenshot. So we would like as many people to come on camera as possible, and so that Olga could take her famous screenshot of our meeting. So Queenie, you got a question? Your hand is up.
Good morning. I'm sorry I can't be on camera yet. I'll be on later. Um, it's so good to see everybody's faces. I will be on camera eventually soon. It's not a question. It's like it's an answer to what Chrislyn posts or ask question. Um, she said, when you've had all these losses, who's been that spark that believe in you? And as most of the people here knows me and knows my story, I've had so much losses in the past couple of years, unbelievable loss in my life. And I just like to say my answer to that question is, when all of those things was happening and actually happened, it was the people here in this community been the biggest spark in my life. Like, there's not one, there's not two, there's like so many of you who became my sister, my friend, and really been a big part of my life. And so to me, that is personal, and that is I'm speaking from my heart. That is the answer to the question, Chrislyn, and I think this is a good opportunity for me to let everyone here knows that. And second, it really touches me. I mean, I'm sorry I was late, so I missed a lot, but soon as I got on, just only been 4 minutes of listening to Chrislyn, what got me is when you say our purpose is not to be strong, but to be real. That really strikes me because all my life, that's what I thought. I gotta be strong, and show up strong all the time, like as best as I can, you know. And yes, I do show up real, authentic, with my heart and everything, but there's this one part of me sometimes that, it's hard for me to be vulnerable and you know, cry and show that, okay, this is too much or too hard or sometimes that you just feel like I cannot handle this anymore. I can't do that anymore. And that's part of being real. So, not like I don't think there's any human being in this world who could be strong all the time. We have our moments that we do break, and that is when you said that, that's like I never thought about it, that way. So I really, really appreciate that so much, Chrislyn. Thank you.
Thank you, Queenie, for sharing.
So thank you, Queenie. Then we have Star, and then we're gonna no. Before we go to Star, we got a lot of people on camera. So, Olga, are you ready? Are you all ready for this photo shoot? You ready?
Yes, I am.
There goes my friend Carrie Lily.
Okay, 1, 2. Any more people are coming on camera?
Okay, my glasses off.
Yes, yes, yes. Some people are coming on camera. Yes, yes, yes. 1, 2. Smile. One more.
One more, one more.
One more. 1, 2. Hearts, smiles, whatever. Gestures. Yes. Done.
Thank you, Olga.
Perfect.
So I saw Star had her hand up, and then we're gonna go in because time is clicking, right? Goes by so fast, and I know we want to share a little bit about what we do at our retreat. So Star, you have a question? You had your hand up or a statement, comment.
Listen, I just wanted to thank you so much for your sharing. And it did take me back to when I lost my son. When I got the news, I just went numb. I mean, I haven't written about it. I haven't really been able to even access that whole thing that happened. Because I had my divorce the same time. I threw my husband out. So I lost both of my guys like at the same time, my two closest men in my life. And so I've just been trying to recover from that. But I just admire you so much that you were able to not only access all of the whole experience, but to write about it so vividly and great. So thank you. I just wanted to say that. And the community that I have set up, I'm really thanking God because I have an amazing support system. And you asked, who's that person? It was my sister, my little sister that actually left Washington because of all the craziness here and moved to Idaho with her family. And she said, I'm coming. And I'm like, no, because I really didn't want to be around anybody. And she's like, I'm just gonna be in the other room. You have a big house. I can go downstairs. And she just kind of pushed herself on me and came out. And I had no idea how much I was gonna need her. because it's weird that you talked about that, because this morning I woke up thinking about the PowerPoint slideshow that I obsessed on putting together for his memorial service. And I haven't watched that since the service. And but I woke up thinking about him this morning. My son, Shane Benjamin, he overdosed at 40 years old. They found him in his apartment, deceased, in Everett, Washington, which is one of the #1 drug places in the United States. But when they found him, his arms were like, he was on the ground like he was praying on his knees, and his arms were up like this, like he was receiving God, or was taking him into his hands. And he just died that fast, where his arms were actually still up like that. And I'm glad that the guy, when I went to clean out his apartment with my sister, I said, I want to talk to the person who found him. And he was able to share that experience. Like he goes, I thought he was praying or something. It was so crazy, but the foil was still in his hands from the drugs. He died that fast. But I really haven't been able to. I mean, I go to a grief group, but it's still really hard for me to even talk about it. So I really appreciated your story. Thank you.
Thank you, Star, for sharing. And that's how I, after Dianne asked me to do a chapter, I said, well, I don't know what to write. The only thing I could do was write about my brother. And then my husband saw it and he says, oh, I'm so happy you had the opportunity, because you were just holding everything in. So yes, so we do need to share, because there are lots of people who have experienced things.
Just wanted to say for a second, sorry, Dianne, that in our first book, Ascend Your Path, Hortensia is actually sharing a story about losing her daughter. And guys, when I was editing these chapters, when I was helping with all that stuff, I was crying like crazy reading all your chapters, Hortensia's, Chrislyn's, and many, many more. And it does help to get it out. It does. And first it helps you, and then it helps others to actually do the same.
What a great share. So again, thank you, Chrislyn, for putting your story, because you were like, oh, I don't know what to put in this book. And you said, oh, this is what came to me. And it's because you were holding it in. And this was the perfect time to share your chapter with us. Okay, so Star, I'm so sorry for your loss, Star. I wasn't aware that you lost your son. So I'm so sorry. I know how dear he was to your heart, and you would say you would always go looking, trying to see where he were and whatnot. But I'm so sorry for your loss. So we have Maria. Maria got her hand up, and then we're gonna go to Jean, and then we're gonna continue on. Maria.
Thank you, Dianne, for calling me up. Chrislyn, just wanted to say how sorry I am for your loss of your brother. That was obviously a very big loss for you, but I'm so proud of how you carried forward. And my aunt is going through a lot of depression right now because she lost her husband almost 4 years ago now, and she just can't move on. And it's like I try to help her as much as I can, but she's so sad, and it just breaks my heart. She doesn't have any kids. We're the closest family she has. And it just really, your talk really moved me so much today. And you talk about being real, and I'm always that one who has to try to be the strong one. But, a lot of the things that you said today make me think about what things I can say to her to hopefully make her move forward and feel like she has still something to live for, because she doesn't feel like she does. She so often tells myself, my mother, I don't have any reason to be here anymore. And it just, like I said, really breaks my heart. And, like I said, they didn't have any kids, so her husband was her life. And she's just like, more than half of her is gone, and she just doesn't see a reason to live anymore. So thank you for sharing your story. And, as so many of you have said it's important for everybody to share their stories so they can see there is a path forward. And it's important to keep moving forward, even at tough times, because times do get tough, to keep trying to step forward, even if it's a small step. So thank you for sharing your story today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. We're going to go to Jean. Hi, Jean.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I just want to make a short comment. I'm not going to be long. When my oldest son was a baby, he 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 was one of those kids that every illness passed by, he got it. He catch everything that went by, and you know, I was a single mother, made a mistake as a young girl, and I was 19, going on 20, and the father wasn't helping, so I was alone, working for $10 a week in 1974. He was very, very sick. I was at my lowest at that time. You know, I'm young, I don't know what to do. And when Chrislyn talks about angels coming and you don't even know, an angel came to me as a stranger. And this is a man that I used to work at a hotel as a receptionist. And I went into the kitchen and I was crying, telling the ladies about my son, and I don't know where he's gonna go because he's coming out of the hospital. I have nobody to keep him, and I don't know what to do. And I started crying. And this guy, he used to come there for food for his dogs. And every time he come there, he would tease me, and I couldn't take it. I didn't like him. I hated this man. Every time I see him, he would be teasing me, and I was so thin-skinned at the time. And he came in the kitchen and he saw me crying. And there's so much compassion on his face. He asked me what happened. It was an older guy. And I told him, and he said, you know what? Bring your son. My wife is going to take care of him. And I couldn't breathe because I was out to this man that teases me every day and I didn't like. I hated him. He became an angel. Those people took care of my son until he was ready to go to high school. They took him in for the whole week and I took him on the weekends. This boy had to go to the doctor every other week. $5 out of my pay went to the doctor every other week because of how he used to get sick. And I was so grateful to that man and to his family. So grateful. And I'm telling you, angels come in all forms and you don't even know where a door is going to be opened. You think all doors are closed. That's all I have to say.
But
Thank you.
Jean. Thank you, Jean.
Okay. So it was difficult writing that. And so I do understand how you feel. But I am happy and I encourage all of you to share your story. Okay. So in closing, I rose not because I was strong, but because I was willing to heal. And that's important. We have to heal. I rose, but not for me alone, but for every soul who needed to hear that rising is still possible. And I rise today because of a whisper that still guides me. You can do it. I did, and you can do it too. Your spark is not gone. It is waiting. All you have to do is listen for it. Thank you. I will share my information. It was actually on the PowerPoint presentation, but I'll send it to Dianne Olga. And feel free if any of you want to talk with me. We're here, like Olga and Dianne said, it is a community, and we are always saying open to help others. It's not about ourselves, it's to make this world a better place. And the way we can do it is to share with others and to listen. Thank you. And thank you, Dianne, that you convinced to still come on, even though my voice is scratchy. a couple of times, but I just
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chrislyn. Thank you. Oh my God. Today is really, really powerful. But I know we clicked, time is going, and I would love to have more shares. But Olga, can you share? We would love to really, because we never really get a chance to really share about our ecosystem and what we built in New Transform 360. And one of the things I'm really proud of is our retreats. So our last retreat was in Costa Rica, it was last September, and we had one of the most amazing times. I think Olga showing some pictures of us, walking around the property. So it's really great. So Olga's gonna share a quick reel, and if anyone is interested, want to learn more about what we're doing in Costa Rica, which is going to be May of 2027, you can reach out to us. Olga's also going to drop the link in the chat so you can it's a conversation. It's not a commitment. It's just to have that conversation. And I would love to have you join us in Costa Rica. That place is just magical, and our program is amazing.
This morning, I got prepared to do the Coyote Trail, and I didn't know what to expect. It was a little challenging, but it was so worth it. It was breathtaking. The air is clear, it's clean.
It was awesome. It was a wonderful nature hike. It wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be. It was challenging in a couple of spots, but it was beautiful. My experience is so divine. Just went hiking. I love it. I saw purple dragonfly and butterfly, purple, blue, indigo, a variety of color. It's just like it's I'm beyond words. It's amazing. Olga, Dianne, Jenny, and everybody else.
My experience in Costa Rica has been astounding. The lush beauty here is spiritual. It is like a church outside. The women and the men here are outstanding people, and if you don't choose to come to one of these retreats with Olga and Dianne, you're crazy.
But thank you. So we're excited about our next retreat because the reason why I'm so excited, and the reason, when something is good, when the participants are saying, "Are you going to do this again?" Because we weren't planning on doing it in Costa Rica. They said, "You got to come back here." We didn't have a date. We didn't have anything planned. And 5 people say, "We're coming back." And guys, this is a luxury retreat. So this is, I'm not going to say it's out of your reach, but it's all inclusive. You come in and you get so much from it. And when 5 people say, "I'm giving my deposit, we're coming back," okay, that really was profound for me. That we could put this together, and we did such an amazing job. And I know we have Jay on here, so Jay, if we not do it now, but before we close, I would love to hear your share, because some magic happens when you go to a place like this. So much as I have Jay here now, Jay, something magical happens. I'm gonna give you a chance to share, and then I'm gonna do my talk. Jay, you want to do a quick share?
Sure, I'd be happy to. When you go to a paradise location, it's entirely different than if you just went to a hotel or you go to a retreat like when we went to Cancun, and there are hundreds of other people there on vacation. Everyone was on this mountain for a purpose, to find their purpose and to learn how to express it. And it was just truly amazing. An immersive event takes you out of your everyday reality, and it allows you to open up to new experiences. I was eating foods that I never would have chosen on my own and found they were delicious and healthy. I was meeting people that I had not met before, and we formed bonding relationships. It's just a spectacular way to take your life to the next level, because your mind expands, your possibilities expand. And I am one of those that said, absolutely, I'm coming back. And I'm bringing Miranda with me again as well. So I would highly encourage everybody to explore it, to find a way, and to join us at the retreat in Costa Rica on a mountainside in paradise.
Thank you for sharing, Jay. I just want to say we're 50% full and it's going to be in May of 2027. So we're excited. So if you're interested, if you would love to go, you want to have a conversation on how you can go to Costa Rica. Jenny said she's coming back. Yes, Jenny chooses the VIP. Okay, she got a tub and a fireplace in her cabin, you know. And so if you're interested in learning more about our retreat, you can put retreat in the chat. And we're also going to drop the link in there. So it tells you a lot about what to expect, and we can have that conversation. Okay. So we talked about ascend your path. So now I am truly excited. So just because of time, I'm gonna just go right on it. I'm gonna say this. I am so excited to be a part of another #1 bestseller. And this is something that, Kristen talked, Mary talked about how things happen in life. And sometimes it might be unfortunate, but it's a blessing. It's truly a blessing. Kristen talked about her grief came out to be now she can serve others by helping them through their grief. And today, my topic is the power of being in service to others. I'm excited to share that because I've been living like that, I guess, all my life. I grew up with my grandmother, and I was always the oldest girl in the house. So it was always me doing the laundry, the ironing, and I was cooking at an early age. And I thought it was punishment back then, not knowing today it's a blessing because now I can do things. And now I notice these young kids today, they don't know how to do nothing. They know how to do Uber Eats and all of these food services. But I am so truly blessed that I had my grandmother, God rest her soul, to teach me. My mom is here. My mom was the trailblazer. So this is one of the reasons why she left us back in Trinidad. So yes, I am from Trinidad, and I've been in the US now for over 40 years. And I lived in New York City for, oh yeah, pretty much the 40 years. and now I'm 35 years. And now I'm in Dover, Delaware. It's much quieter. It's a slower pace, but I do miss New York. It's New York City, the busyness. After 2 days, I want to come home though. So I'm excited. My daughter is on her way down to come visit. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen. And just so I can keep on track, I got to put my glasses on. So yes, can you, let me do one thing. Can you see my screen? Say yes, yes? Awesome. So yes, I am so excited about sharing about my topic from our Ascend into Your Power. It was really exciting to have Dr. Forbes Riley be our celebrity author and to have Les Brown do the foreword. And I'm sharing this with 20 to 23 other co-authors from around the world. Our first anthology had 12 authors. This one has 24, double the participants. And I'm also excited to say that our next anthology is called Ascend Your Health. And Deidre is here. And hi, Deidre. So Deidre, we have AC Caswell, former NFL player with the Oakland Raiders, and Deidre. They're going to be our celebrity authors for our next anthology, Ascend Your Health. And this could be health in any form or fashion. In spirituality, that's what we want. Finances, yes. In fitness, yes. So anyone could fit in this book. Okay, so it's all about ascending your health, being healthy, being abundant. Okay, so I'm truly, so if you're interested in being a part of that or want to know more, you can put it in the chat, anthology. Okay, so again, I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us this morning. I know we've been rocking and rolling all morning. My name, I said, my name is Dianne, and I've been doing this now for 5 years. And I believe the most powerful thing we can do in life is to be in service to others. Today, I want to share a small moment of kindness, how a small moment of kindness can create a ripple effect. I mean, hear Mary talk about that ripple effect that change lives, sometimes in ways we can never, ever see. So before I get in, I just want to invite each of you to just take a deep breath, the breath of life, the breath that is not even promised to us, and invite light and love to come in. So on the count of 3, we're only going to do 1 breath. Inhale deeply through your nose and hold it. Hold it for the count of 4. I'm going to count. And then exhale it. So you're going to be exhaling anything that does not serve you. So you're going to inhale light and love. Exhale everything that does not serve you. So on 3. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Exhale. I just feel that rush of energy. And oh boy. Today started off a little tricky. And I said, devil, you're not going to win today because I am a winner. You're not going to win. I did my whole presentation and then I don't know what I clicked and the whole thing disappeared. And I said, oh, so it had about 8 minutes, less than 8 minutes to put it all back together. So I just want to share real quick, but I am excited to share with you today. And we know March month is considered Women's History Month, a time where we celebrate women who changed the world. We have women like Maya Angelou. Got to talk about her. We have Rosa Parks. I'm in Delaware. It's down this way. You know, this was they passed through Delaware to go to freedom. And we also have Mother Teresa, who really changed the world when she was in her 60s. And I want to share that these women did not pursue service. You know, Reverend Mendes said so. They didn't pursue success. They pursued service. And the world doesn't only change by famous people. The world is changed by women like you. Everyday women, ordinary women like you who say yes to your calling, who decide to show up, who decide to show up today here. And today I just want to talk about something that really changed my life, and that is service. Many of us have reached moments in life where everything looks successful on the outside. The career, the family, the accomplishment. Yet inside there's that whisper that kept saying, there must be more. And that was me. There was always that whisper that says, just can't be it. Research shows that only a small percentage of people truly believe they are living on purpose. And if you think you know that number, type that number in the chat in percentage wise. What number of people truly believe they are living on purpose? I can't see the chat, so Olga, you have to help me.
I see 30, 1 to 5, 9, 2, 10, 7, 5. I guess
Somebody nailed it.
information. Yeah, somebody nailed it.
Whoever put 5%, they're absolutely correct. But isn't that sad? Only 5% truly believe that they're living on purpose. Another 5% says, I know what my purpose is, but I'm not living it. The other 90%, they don't even know what their purpose is. So many of us spend decades chasing success, only to discover what we're truly seeking is significance. Our soul, what is our soul calling us to do? And this is why I love Verdesana in Costa Rica. The place there's something about that place, the energy. It helps you to find your soul purpose. I spent almost 3 decades working for New York City Transit. I began as a railroad clerk back then. Now they're called station agents. And during my years in working in the subway station, thousands of people passed through every day, rushing to work, rushing home, rushing through life. And one thing that stood out for me was every single person was carrying something invisible. It may have been a worry, a heartbreak, a fear, a dream. And I realized something powerful. I may never know their story, but for one moment in their life, I could be the kindness they encounter. So many times in the subway station, I had to take the time to really give information. That was part of my responsibility. But I just didn't give the information. I didn't just help them find their train, or I didn't just help them calm their frustration. I did it with a smile. I did it with a smile. And it taught me something I carry with me to this day. Service doesn't have to be grand to be powerful. One little act of kindness could have a ripple effect. Sometimes the smallest act of kindness creates the biggest ripple effect. So this brings me joy, just to smile. And as I moved into leadership, the mindset stayed with me. Instead of asking, how can I get ahead? It was always, how can I serve better? How can my team be better? One of my first projects was upgrading our outdated phone system into a call center. 3 years later, when COVID shut the world down, those systems allow our team to transition to remote work. And Jean is here. She was one of my coworkers, or she was on my team. And sometimes it's still hard for me to say, coworkers, but I was the leader of the pack. And I just love being, there was always, as the leader, people would never know my title because it was never about the title. It's about the work. And like I said, 3 years later, when COVID hit, they were able to transition to working remotely, seamlessly. That moment taught me something even more powerful. When we serve from the heart, you are guided to decisions that bless everyone. I'm going to say that again. When we serve from the heart, you are guided to decisions that bless everyone. Upper management above me, they don't have a clue of how that system really saved us. It doesn't really matter. Our team was able to transition to working remotely without missing a beat. And that's because what? We go out and we serve. How can we make things better? So I'm going to share with you 3 pillars later on. So after nearly 3 decades, I retired. And I asked God a simple question. I said, hello, God. What next? Let me do more for you. And the answer came as a whisper. Create a space for people to shine, to rediscover their voice. Together with my partner, Dr. Olga Kaminer, who's here, we launched Ascend Your Path, Ascend Authors Publishing, and Ascend Retreats. Spaces where you can rediscover your voice and step into your purpose. My 3 fundamentals of service is this: bring joy wherever you go, add value and serve, trust reciprocity, because what you give out is going to come back to you. Success fills our calendar. Service fills the soul. Which one is more powerful? The calendar or the soul? That's a question you could ponder on. I'd like to ask you a question. Have you ever reached a point in your life where everything looks successful on the outside? And inside there's that whisper, just like it did for me, that kept nudging you or nagging you. There must be more. Even after you built the career, you raised the family, you checked all the boxes. And I know my partner can relate very well to that because she is such a perfectionist. But there was still that nagging that says, what am I truly here for? And this is how God put us together. We did not know each other. And we realized we were asking ourselves the same question. What am I truly here for? And if you've ever felt that whisper, I'm here to tell you, you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. God is calling you for higher. He's calling you to live on purpose. He's calling you to share your message, your story. He's calling you to service. I heard someone ask, I think it was Oprah was doing one of her podcasts, and she asked her guest, when someone feels stuck, what should they do? And her answer was, they need to go in service, do something of service. Because we can only consume so much. Okay, but it feels so good to give back. And I'm not saying to give and feel depleted. No, I'm all for giving from your overflow. Fill your cup up first. Deidre talked about it's okay to say, she mentioned that last month. It's okay to say not at this time to preserve self-love. So I'm excited to say, if you're hearing that nudge or you're hearing that whisper that's saying, what am I truly here for? Why am I here? Who am I? That's your soul calling you to do something higher. And I won't be long. I just want to say just this. There's one thing I want to invite you to do this week. Just one thing. I have some suggestion here, but you could choose your own. This week, I invite you to try something simple. One intentional act of service. Encourage someone who may feel discouraged. Mentor someone who needs guidance. Send a message to someone who may need hope. Or simply remind someone of their worth. Just one intentional act of kindness. Type yes in the chat if you could commit to doing one intentional act of kindness. Just put me. Yes. You see, you may never see the ripple, but that ripple may change someone's life. We witness it here today. How so many of you realize you were holding in grief You have to let it out. So in closing, I just want to say, gotta go back a slide. In closing, I just want to say, did I mess my slide up? No. Okay. Women's history reminds us that history is not only written by famous women, history is written every day by women who choose to serve, women who choose to lift others up, women who choose to use their voice. And when a woman discovers her voice and speaks her truth, she doesn't just change lives. She changes the lives of everyone around her. And I know that's every one of you here. You are history in the making. And I just want to invite you. If you have a story, if you have a message the world needs to hear, tag me in the chat. Because Ascend Your Path exists for this very reason. Because the world doesn't just need more noise. There's a whole lot of noise around us. It needs more voices of purpose. And that's your voice. So I just want to say thank you for joining us this morning. And thank you for allowing me to share. And I am so excited to seeing more of you share your message. Yeah, we're saying yes. I'm truly excited. I'm so grateful. I am truly grateful to everyone who supports us on this journey. And we're here to also support you on your journey. Because life is not promised. As we go through, we started our challenge, our 21-day challenge. And we had death in the family. One person lost her brother. I lost my uncle. I just so fortunate I was able to be in Trinidad and I saw him just a couple of months ago. And he died suddenly. My family's getting ready to travel on Monday to go to the funeral. Nothing is promised to us. And so we have death, we have birth, we also have injuries that happens. But life goes on, it does not stop. So what are you going to do? I say, deal with it, but don't stay there. Bounce back. Use it as a springboard to continue the journey. Life is too short. Don't quit. Don't quit. So thank you again for allowing me to share. Whew. Thank you all, guys. You can close us out.
Yes, I can. Thank you so much, Dianne, for your message. And you said that I can resonate with that message. And definitely, because that was me a few years ago when I was thinking, what's next? And my life looked perfect on the outside, right? And on the inside, I was holding on to so many things that I didn't want to admit at all. Because again, on the outside, it was perfect. The perfect family, the perfect job, everything looked perfect. And then it started. I was listening to a message yesterday and it said, God, when something is not working in your life, it will tell you once. If you don't listen, it will tell you twice. If you don't listen, it will tell you 3 times. And then it will start sending you people who are going to be harsh on you in order for you to get that message. And that's exactly what happened. I wasn't listening to myself. I wasn't listening to what I was trying to hide inside. And then life started happening, right? One thing after another, after another. It was a huge snowball at the end. I'm still in the midst of it, but at least I know, like I'm admitting what was wrong. And that's a huge part for me personally. And I'm not ready to tell this story yet, but I did tell lots of other stories already in my books. And thank you, Dianne, for being my partner. We do complement each other. You do hold me up. You do help me to get out of my hard days because I have lots of them still. And you are bringing me to the other side every single day, every single day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Chrislyn, for telling your stories, for being brave to tell your stories. And I really hope that all of you, not even many of you, but all of you got something from today's messages. Wherever it's to apply to your personal life, wherever it's to apply to your business life, wherever it's to tell your story, actually, to help others. But let's keep that ripple effect growing. Don't stop here. Do something. And just like Dianne suggested, just one simple act of kindness, whatever it is. And you know what? Let's do a fun thing. Can you write in the chat right now what you are committing to do this week? Just one simple thing. You're not ready? Oh, you're typing, okay. The 21-day challenge. Okay, cool. Walk in nature more. Yes. The weather is permitting, at least here in Canada right now. Send a card to someone who needs it. Yes. Birthday dinner for my brother's 78th. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Tell my sister how much I appreciate her. Guys, these simple acts of kindness, you don't know when people need it. And sometimes when you have that nudge to do that, that's exactly when that person needs it. That's when God is telling you, do that because they need it. And you might change their lives just by simply telling them how much you appreciate them. Call a friend, call someone who is lonely. Yes, visit my older aunts and friends. Call my brother. Reach out to a couple of friends I haven't heard from for a while. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody. And it's very emotional for me. It's very emotional to you, to Dianne. Take my mom to lunch. She loves that. Nice. Serve at the returning citizen shelter. That's huge. Everything is huge. Every single simple thing is huge, actually. So there is no order here, right? What is bigger than other? No. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for sharing these 2 hours with us. And yes, Dianne, and we will see you in April. Dianne?
Yes. So April is huge, and I do have I have one spot in April, one in May, and one in June. But we like to stack it 3 months, right? So I was so distracted with the books, I kind of fell behind. But we're never behind, so that's we forget about that. Okay, but I want to invite you. For anyone who would like to be a part of our 21-day challenge, it's the same Zoom link. We're gonna meet tomorrow morning at 8:30. We meet for 1 hour at 8:30. And we have people from around the world, and that's why we kind of made it like we're gonna change it up because that whole challenge group is growing exponentially. And so we have people from the UK, we have from Saudi Arabia, we have from Turkey, we have from the Bahamas, Canada, the US, global. Okay, so tomorrow at 8:30, you can use the same link, and we'll be getting ready to kick off April. Okay, so I'll be explaining what it's in more in detail what the challenge is about. So if you want to be a part of that challenge community, you're welcome to join us. And also, if you will be getting the workbook. So you will have a chance to do it on your own. Do it on your own, or you could do it in community. I prefer community because now we have accountability, you know. So I'm truly excited. I love you all so much. And I think you've been showing up, most of you been showing up here for over 5 years. So I thank you. And again, we're looking to speakers, so reach out to me. And I love you all. And I look forward to having you in Costa Rica in May. Thank you, Deidre. We're working on your chapter. We're working hard on your chapter.
Jean,
So,
we have a question.
Sorry, what you said, Olga?
Jean was waving her hand. Is it goodbye or is it a question? You're muted.
I was just saying, agreeing with Dianne.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, cool. So thank you all so much for joining, and I hope I see some of you all tomorrow to learn more about our challenge. I'm excited for you. Love you all. Until April. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. This was great. You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
Just great. Just great. Thank you so much for sharing like you do and continuing to do this dream that God gave you so many years ago. This has been fabulous each time I've participated. So thank you again.
Thank you. I don't know. I've seen so many faces I haven't seen I've seen in a while. So thank you for joining. Bye for now. Enjoy your Sunday,
Bye.
your Saturday.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
See you
Love
all.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You all
Bye.
beautiful.